viewers, this is me again, Takemi. So this will be the part two of the video where I will be showing you the implementation or the integration for the backend web services for our platform and the front end using the ASP.NET or MVC. So let's start now. Okay, so before I do or show you the implementation for the actual registration. So let me discuss just a little bit the authentication for our web client. So for this front end, we will be using the cookie authentication. So this is the setup here. Um, Builder services add authentication and then setting up the cookie authentication scheme, like this one here. And then second will be creating the default HTTP client that we will be using for the succeeding videos for calling the web API backend. So this is here, the builder that services that add HTTP client for and naming it with the of API client and then configuring the base address and then the default request headers. So this one here, and then basically we're adding the or configuring the services needed for the communication to the backend and then setting up the um, session, this one here, and then of course having the um, or using the authentication and authorization services here, and then setting up the default areas for the dashboard, properties, account, and default. Okay, so after that, um, let's start with the accounts controller in the areas accounts here. And so for this part here, before I proceed with the um, the logic, so for this part here, for the areas accounts and then controllers, so what we have now here is the um, register method, which has the equivalent um, which has the equivalent view here. Sorry, yeah, this one here, the register, and then the register here. So basically, this is the UI for our registration page, which uses the default layout, um, which we have here. And then for this page, we have a model called company registration view model, which is this one here. So basically, this contains the properties that we have for our company registration. So basically, this is similar to the payload that we have in our web API. So we just need to map this out. So here using this one here, and we have the form using the tag helpers from the built-in MVC core framework. So we have here. So what we have here now is the form area, which is blank because we are using the accounts here in the root instead of the accounts here in the area, which we will be discussing in the next following videos. Okay, so going back, so for the controller, we have this one here, the accounts, this one here, and then the register method for having this one here, the register, or like this one here rather, and then the anti-forgery token for determining requests will be not be tampered and for security reasons. And then for this one here, we have a div here containing the ASP dash validation dash summary all. So the purpose for this part here will be to display the errors from the back end whenever we pass something or whenever we pass malform data from our front end. And then the next is we have the actual fields, which we will be entering the company registration info. So we have again here for the name and then the address, contact number, the owner, the email, then the password, and their equivalent text boxes here, and then the validation. And we also have here the scripts for loading the JavaScript like validation. Okay, so this is the HTML part here, and then for the actual submission here, so notice that we have the ASP dash action, which has the register method named here, which is this one here. So for the backend, so basically you notice that we have the register here, the one with no parameters, and then the register here with parameters. So basically what this means is this register method here, this is the part where we call the UI part for the implementation for the form, like the UI. Mhm. And then this part here, this register method here will be the one who will be called for the actual form submission. So basically, this part here contains the logic for connecting to the backend web API, or let's say like the integration. So when we click the button here below, like the register button here, so this will trigger a call to the register post method within the accounts controller, which is here, and then passing it with the company registration view model, which we used here. And then it also has the validate anti-forgery token for anti-CSRF hacking. And for this part here, this is the part where we actually call the method for invoking the API call. So we have here um, the register company basic method, which has the implementation of this one here. So as you can notice, this method here contains or has a return value of tuple, which is the API response view model containing the company model, and then the other one is the API response view model containing the errors. And so it has the again the company registration view model, and then passing this payload as a string content for basically like serializing the payload and passing it to the backend, which is like here. So like the name, the address, contact number, the owner, the email, password, the encoding, and then what type of media type this is. So basically this is JSON. And then after we have created the payload for the request, so we are passing it now um, the actual API call, which is this one here, the HTTP response message with the HTTP client post of having the API the endpoint of API v1 account company register, and then passing it the payload. So here, if the response is successful, so that means if the server response is 200, then meaning that our request has been successful. So if it is, so this part here will try to read the response, or like the read the JSON string, and then here we try to use a JSON serializer to deserialize it to our API response view model, add company model format here, and then after parsing it, so we need to return it. So like this one here, the model, which is not null, and then the error is null. So we use this one here because since this part of the code here indicates a successful um registration call to the backend. So we have a non empty model, and then we don't have we don't have any errors here. But otherwise, if the request is not successful or it has failed, so this part here reads the JSON response from the server, and then we parse it with the I enumerable string, getting the error contents from the server, and then the same thing here. We return it, but this time the object is null, and then it contains the errors from the backend. And from there, so first off, if the success was, or rather, if the request was successful, so basically what will happen is like this one here. If the success or if the request has been successful, so it will go through here and it will redirect to the login page. But otherwise, if the if the request has failed for this one here, so it will go through this one here, and then it will loop through the errors which are from the back end, and then just adds it to a model state that add model error dictionary, and then after doing so, we are being redirected back to the view like this one here, and then we will see the um, errors from the backend here, like that. And then otherwise, it will throw some other error if there is any. So let's start to or shall I say let's try to run this and then see what we got or validate what we got. So first off, let's build this for a while. After building it, let's try to run it. Let's just wait for a minute. Okay, so now we are seeing the login page, but we will be going to the create an account. So this one here, this is now the UI for our company registration feature. Um, just don't mind yet some of the icon because I will still change it later. So let's proceed. So again, the same thing that we did with our backend. So let's just try to register without even providing valid data within the form. So let's try it. Okay, so now we can see that that the errors are displaying. So basically, the validation or within the backend works. And let's try to um, put um, valid data. So let's try test company 2. So let's try test company 2. So test company 2. And then test company 2. Yep. And then try to submit that. So this should be gone now. or later like this one here. After submitting it, register. Yep. The error for the name was gone because we provided a valid data. And let's try the address too and submit it. Yep, it's valid. For the contact number, let's just again like the same thing that we did for the back end. Let's skip this for now and just go back here after testing the other fields. So test one or two, register, test, what's the email? Test real, test realty two. Okay. Oh, sorry. Test realty two, and then the password. Okay. So let's try to fill in the contact number. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this should not work. Yep, the validation is working. And let's try to put a valid one here, but put a character next to it. So this should not work. Yeah, good, it's not working. Otherwise, if we put a valid number here and also put a valid password, so this should work now. Okay, so as we have seen that after we provided valid data for the payload, so what happened next was when submitting the form, we are redirected back to the login page. So that means that our logic or the registration integration works as expected and successful. And let's try to check the database if it was really saved. Okay, so now we have here the test company 2, which is good, and then the test realty 2 is good. Okay, so now that we have verified that the integration for both the front end and then the back end is successful by doing some testing and validating some things. So now we have confirmed that everything is working. So okay, so I hope that you have learned something from this video episode, and then please tune in for the next following videos for the other implementation of these cases or features for our platform. So once again, thank you for watching and hope that you've learned things in the video. And yeah, stay tuned. Thank you.